Shelley here with Sirius Taurus Moon. This is Jupiter. Mars hour and Mercury day. Right now, the midheaven is with Venus, and Venus is applying to square Pluto. The moon is ruled by Venus, and for those who make talismans, pay attention that Venus is squaring Pluto. Okay, this will affect the people that work with the energy of the outer planets. Now, Mars is already in Sagittarius, slowly leaving an opposition, still on the degree of the opposition to Pluto and Sedna, and ruled by Jupiter, 25 degrees Cancer, that is about to go retrograde and is now in a trine with Lilith, still with Mars, and with Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. Now, this is a time where, how should I say that? Nothing that has power abuses power. Nothing that has value attempts to intimidate people into any type of relation with it. Again, I'm not talking about a person that escapes, I don't know, and needs help from whatever organization or not. Okay, that is a completely different story. Talking about people that offer or to make offer. If it is offer of value, is an no offer that is of value is an offer a person cannot say no to. Anything that tries to use power and force to have people in relation with it is of no value and has no power. Power abused is lost. Anything that tries to mimic a scenario to try to convince people that they are doing harm to themselves has no essence, and its creation does not sustain. Anything that relies on applying force to keep something under control will have one of two things, usually both happening. One, the thing that they try to keep under control starts to dysfunction. Two, they are not prepared, they're not planning for sovereignty. When Mars was in Scorpio, several times I said, plan for sovereignty, plan for sovereignty, plan for sovereignty. People plan for subjugating others. They don't plan for sovereignty. Bless you. My mom sneezed on that. Anybody that had business model or any model, a relational model, business model, that was based on subjugating another, trying to limit the choice of another, try to make it have bad implication if they say no to being in situation that anyway is not supportive of life. Basically, as business model of cars that are flying in the wind. They don't sleep well. They're constantly in fear of being assassinated. And fear is just. If they run extortion cult, of course they're in fear of being assassinated. They are programming for extortion. They are programming to kill the handlers. And you see, to keep people, they have to give, if it is relational, they have to provide, they are forced to provide. And then they try to create intermittence, which is why consistency is so important. Anything that tries to go along these lines, first of all, cannot require accountability and responsibility from the cult members. You want accountability, provide for conditions that one can be accountable. Consistent love that is actually loving, housing first, food that is actually nourishing, soil that is actually healthy. Provide the conditions the person can say yes, no, maybe, without having bad implications on that. There are many ways, for every situation, there are many ways to choose good. It takes intense amount of energy to bring people to make choices that is not good. Now, the more people apply power, the more they basically invest energy, what happens to the energy? It transmutes. Even if person is helpless. You know how much energy does one need to invest in controlling every single aspect of someone's life? It's a boring job as well. Now what happens? People send people to target individuals or to even program, even AI. AI's nervous system is thermodynamics. Nervous system has economicity, particularly when they make more biological computation. It has economicity. A computer doesn't want to burn itself. I remember when Feynman did the first of AI, they got a computer to give them random number, and computer answered 2. They said again 2, again 2. They discovered that the minute the computer thinks, it has economicity. So even when people are afraid of AI, to train AI to harm people because it's not economic. You understand? It's not economic to harm people. So to train AI to harm people, even when they caught a person like Epstein, 1996, Marc Dutroux. The minute they caught him, he wanted to sing about everybody. They had to replace entire juristic system. Brought Michel Nihoul. Now, you would say this is a person and that was 1996. That guy was born in 56, 54, 56, 60, 70, 80, 90. He would be 40, would be my age. Was für ein Uranus return, Uranus opposition. That was to be as Pluto, probably Pluto square, Neptune square, and Rao maturation and Uranus return. Life begins at 40. In that case, life sentence it was. But he wanted to speak about everything. If you listen to Alandra, the person that managed to get out, you see how much energy was invested in turning a person into an Epstein. Because Alandra was supposed to be an Epstein. And there's economicity around these things. Because they know to do those things they cannot create. It's not that the people are not creative. It's that to operate in that modus operandi, one cannot create. They try to take from the creative people to create, with the power of creative people, to create control. But people, they always, they either they run out of the energy, so no control can be created through them anymore, or they learn to protect the energy, or they expose, or they do all these 3 things. And this is how those that have this modus operandi of control have to let go of the grip. Now I'm reminded by light of 2 points on the zodiac. One is galactic center and one is Beta Persei. Galactic center is where they try to imitate creation. They try to observe everything is created and imitate that to create control. It's a nakshatra that's to do with billionaires. And billionaires constantly transmute energy. How a person becomes a billionaire, the closest we have is Pluto. Okay, for example, last place I moved, there was a backyard. The neighbors, very nice neighbors, but they were throwing the trash. So I took what they threw and I decided to grow potatoes there. Then there was a problem with the irrigation. I said, no problem, they forested the Sahara, let's try the half moon. And this was my Pluto square. I learned from people that have land, they would eat an apple, throw the apple, and said, what, throw? Yes, throw it to the ground, throw. It gets composted. Some people have an apple tree because they were sitting with sitting, instead of eating, junk food, they were eat an apple, throw the apple, eat an apple, throw what's left, throw what's left. Then they have a tree of apples. And this is very good because it's natural. And then the soil becomes nourished. And when it's ready, something grows. Now you add half moons for arid land, and the original vegetation of the area regrows. Then you can do rewilding. Then the tree that grows gives shade to the tomato plant and gives shade to the pepper plant. And not only that, it looks wild. So it doesn't look like, somebody trimmed the lawns and put cameras and probably they have very important things inside. Nothing. It looks like something that is, normal. I have a colleague in Bulgaria, Krasia Tasio. She is sidereal astrologer, and I learned a lot from her. She lives right next to where they come to see Sirius rising. And I remember when I was in Bulgaria for vacation, cleanest, purest water. Sometimes not enough hot water, but cleanest, purest water, purest soil, air, fresh air. And they started doing spray in the skies. The tomato plants weren't growing. Now, tomato is one of those things that you throw a tomato, you have a tomato tomato plant growing tomatoes. Like, it's one of the things, when there was 7th of October, 2 weeks I was not on the property, I was tortured and so on and so forth. I came back, first thing I see, the tomatoes are growing. Now, they look like weed. Not weed like the smoke. Weed like the things that you weed out from the soil. It's not weed. Tomatoes masquerade themselves very well. Now, of course, that weed I didn't grow. So they knocked me off of the property because I don't sell drugs, I don't do human trafficking, I don't plan political assassinations, I don't do terror. No use. And it's not because I'm patriotic. Patriot is a missile that costed way too much money and accidentally landed on a civilian building. Very simple. If something wants to replace the government, my grandfather, he grew up in Sarny. And when they asked where is Sarny, one day it was Ukraine, another Russia, another Poland, another Germany. Then they made rebel in the concentration camp. Then he ran away through Italy, got nothing. His brother through Germany, different, different lifestyle. So people say they want to replace the regime. I don't argue with them, but they say if you want to replace the regime, fantastic. Sexual sovereignty, housing independence of ability to work, doing my half moon project, soil that is actually nourishing. If you're better than the government, okay, no problem. Uh, yeah, they want to assassinate prime minister. Okay, but the problem is the extortion calls. Any prime minister would be the same problem. So how are you better than that prime minister? Now there are the people that say, don't look too strange, don't this, don't that, don't that, don't that. The people that are acting normal, they will identify as one of them, which means they will think it's a competitor on their position. Okay.